The sky over New York City turned an eerie shade of orange as the massive alien ship descended. It was silent, its sleek surface reflecting the city lights like a mirror. People stopped in their tracks, staring up with a mix of awe and fear. The ship hovered above the United Nations building, casting a shadow that seemed to stretch endlessly. No one knew what to expect. Was this the end, or something else entirely? After hours of waiting, a bright light flashed from the ship, and a small object floated down toward the ground. It wasn't a weapon or a probe. It was a glowing orb, no bigger than a basketball. The orb pulsed softly with warm colors, almost like it was alive. A voice boomed from unseen speakers, deep and calm. "This is our gift to you," it said. "It holds power beyond your understanding. Use it wisely." The crowd of diplomats and scientists gathered at the UN exchanged nervous glances. Among them was Alex Carter, a military strategist known for his cautious nature. He crossed his arms and frowned. "Power beyond our understanding," he muttered under his breath. "That doesn't sound like a gift. It sounds like a trap." Beside him stood Mia Dawson, an astrophysicist with wide, curious eyes. She tilted her head, studying the orb. "Or maybe it's exactly what they say it is, a chance for us to grow." As the orb settled gently onto a pedestal placed by the Valith, children who had been invited to the event as part of a goodwill initiative rushed forward. They giggled and pointed, completely unafraid. One boy poked the orb with his finger, making it glow brighter. Another girl hugged it, saying, "It's so cute." Adults watched in confusion as the kids swarmed around the mysterious object, laughing as if it were a toy. Emily Harper, an 8-year-old with curly brown hair and a missing front tooth, stepped closer. She reached out hesitantly, then touched the orb. To everyone's surprise, it responded immediately, spinning slowly and emitting a soft hum. Emily gasped. "It feels happy," she whispered. Her parents, Lisa and Ryan Harper, looked on uneasily. "What do you mean, sweetie?" Lisa asked. Emily didn't answer. Instead, she pressed her hands against the orb, her face lighting up with wonder. Alex shook his head. "This is ridiculous. How are we supposed to take this seriously when it looks like a child's nightlight?" But Mia wasn't so quick to dismiss it. She knelt beside Emily, watching the orb intently. "Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way," she said. "If the Valith wanted to attack us, they could have done it already. This might really be a gesture of peace." The Valith ambassador, a tall figure with shimmering skin and elongated limbs, stepped forward. Through a translator device, it explained that the orb contained unimaginable power, enough to reshape reality itself. "But it will only work for those who understand its true purpose," the ambassador added cryptically. When the adults tried to touch the orb, nothing happened. It remained still, almost mocking them. Yet when the children interacted with it, it came alive, glowing brighter and emitting playful tones. Some of the scientists began jotting notes furiously, while others simply stared in disbelief. As the day ended and the Valith departed, leaving the orb behind, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Why would they give us something so powerful without any explanation? He asked Mia later. She shrugged, her mind still racing with possibilities. Maybe they trust us more than we trust ourselves. For now, the orb sat securely in a glass case, surrounded by cameras and sensors. But as Emily gazed at it one last time before leaving, she smiled knowingly. Something told her this was just the beginning. The orb, now named Sparky by Emily Harper, was carefully transported to a top-secret research facility hidden deep within the mountains of Colorado. The facility buzzed with activity as scientists and military personnel worked around the clock to study the mysterious object. Alex Carter, still skeptical about the Valith's intentions, took charge of the operation. He insisted on running every possible test to uncover the orb's secrets. "We can't afford to take chances," he told Mia Dawson during one of their late-night discussions. "For all we know, this thing could be a ticking time bomb." Mia, however, wasn't so quick to assume the worst. She believed the orb might hold answers to questions humanity had been asking for centuries. Questions about the universe, life, and even itself. While Alex focused on dismantling the orb's defenses, Maya spent her days observing its behavior. What she found puzzled her. Every time an adult tried to interact with Sparky, it remained inert, almost lifeless. But when children approached it, especially Emily, the orb came alive, glowing brighter and emitting soft, musical tones. One day, while Alex was overseeing a series of energy scans, Emily wandered into the lab. Her parents, Lisa and Ryan Harper, had reluctantly agreed to let her visit under strict supervision. As soon as Emily entered the room, Sparky began to hum. She walked over to the glass case where the orb was kept and pressed her hands against it. "Hi, Sparky," she said softly. To everyone's astonishment, the orb responded by spinning gently and pulsing with warm colors. It seemed to recognize her. Alex frowned. "This is absurd. How does it know her?" he muttered, scribbling notes furiously. Mia knelt beside Emily, her curiosity piqued. "What do you feel when you touch it?" she asked. Emily thought for a moment before answering. "It feels alive, like it's talking to me." When Mia asked what it was saying, Emily hesitated. "I don't know how to explain it. It shows me pictures in my head, stars, planets, and weird creatures. It says it wants to help us." Alex scoffed. "Help us? That's convenient and completely unbelievable." But Mia wasn't ready to dismiss Emily's words. Over the next few days, she noticed something strange. Whenever Emily interacted with Sparky, the orb emitted faint signals that the lab's equipment couldn't fully decode. It was as if it was communicating in a language no one understood, except maybe Emily. As the days passed, Emily grew more attached to Sparky. She visited the lab daily, spending hours sitting near the orb. Her parents grew concerned. "She talks about it like it's her best friend," Lisa confided to Mia one evening. "And she keeps saying things that don't make sense, like, 'Sparky knows everything,' or 'it showed me the beginning of time.'" Ryan added, "What if it's influencing her somehow? What if it's dangerous?" Mia reassured them, but privately, she wondered the same thing. Still, she couldn't ignore the bond between Emily and Sparky. One afternoon, while Alex was away briefing government officials, Mia decided to conduct an experiment. She allowed Emily to hold the orb outside its glass case, something Alex would never have permitted. As soon as Emily touched Sparky, the orb lit up brilliantly, casting colorful patterns across the walls. Emily closed her eyes, smiling. "It's showing me again," she whispered. When Alex returned and saw what was happening, he erupted in anger. "Are you insane? We don't know what that thing is capable of," he shouted. Maya stood her ground. "Maybe we should trust her. Maybe she's the key to understanding it." Alex shook his head, pacing back and forth. "Trust her. She's 8 years old. This isn't a game, Mia. If we mess this up, the consequences could be catastrophic." Despite their disagreement, neither could deny that Sparky was unlike anything they'd ever encountered. It didn't behave like a weapon or a machine. It seemed almost playful. Yet beneath its innocent exterior lay a power that no one dared to underestimate. As tensions mounted between Alex and Mia, Emily continued to spend time with Sparky, oblivious to the weight of responsibility resting on her small shoulders. Little did anyone know, the orb's true purpose was far greater and far more complicated than anyone had imagined. News of the glowing orb spread quickly, and soon the entire world was talking about it. Some people were excited, calling it a miracle or a gift from the stars. Others were scared, convinced it was a trick meant to harm humanity. The divide grew deeper as governments and scientists argued over what to do with Sparky. Alex Carter stood firmly on one side. He believed the orb was too dangerous to keep around. "We don't understand it," he said during a meeting at the research facility. "And until we do, it's a threat." Mia Dawson, however, saw things differently. She thought Sparky could be the key to solving some of Earth's biggest problems: hunger, disease, even war. "It's not just a weapon," she insisted. "It's a tool, a chance for us to grow. But only if we approach it the right way." Her words fell on deaf ears. The pressure to act was mounting, and powerful leaders wanted results. Meanwhile, Emily Harper continued to spend time with Sparky. She seemed to understand the orb better than anyone else, and her connection to it only grew stronger. One evening, while sitting alone in the lab, Emily whispered to Sparky, "Do you really want to help us?" The orb pulsed softly in response, almost like a nod. Emily smiled. "Then why won't they listen?" Sparky didn't answer, but Emily felt something, a warm feeling that filled her chest, like a quiet promise. The tension between Alex and Mia reached a breaking point when a group of politicians arrived at the facility. They demanded immediate action. "We can't just sit here and do nothing," one of them said. "This thing has power. We need to use it, for defense, for progress, for everything." Alex agreed, but Mia shook her head. "You're rushing into this blindly. If you push too hard, you'll make a mistake." Ignoring her warnings, the government officials decided to test Sparky's capabilities. In secret, they moved the orb to a remote military base in Nevada. There, a team of engineers worked day and night to unlock its energy. Emily begged her parents to stop them, but no one listened. "They don't know what they're doing," she cried. "Sparky isn't supposed to be used like that." Lisa and Ryan tried to comfort her, but deep down, they were worried too. At the base, the scientists prepared for an experiment. They connected Sparky to a massive machine designed to harness its power. Alex watched nervously as the team powered up the equipment. "This could go wrong," he muttered, but no one paid attention. The room hummed with anticipation. When the machine activated, Sparky began to glow brighter than ever before. For a moment, it seemed to work. The machine siphoned energy from the orb, creating a blinding flash of light. But then, something went terribly wrong. Sparky reacted violently, emitting a surge of energy that shattered the machine and sent shockwaves through the base. The explosion was massive, leveling buildings and leaving a crater where the facility once stood. Fires raged across the desert, and smoke filled the sky. Panic spread as news of the disaster reached the rest of the world. Back at the research lab, Mia stared at the TV screen in horror. "I told them this would happen," she whispered. Alex stood beside her, his face pale. "What have we done?" he said, his voice barely audible. Emily, who had been watching quietly, turned to them. Tears streamed down her face. "You broke it," she said. "Now Sparky is angry." In the days that followed, fear gripped the planet. No one knew how the Valith would react to what had happened. Would they see it as an act of war? Or would they remain silent, watching from afar? As nations braced for the worst, Emily disappeared. When her parents searched her room, they found a message scrawled on the wall in crayon. "It's time to fix what you broke." Alex and Mia realized they had no choice but to find Emily and Sparky before it was too late. But as they prepared to leave, they couldn't shake the feeling that the orb's true purpose was still hidden, waiting to reveal itself in ways no one could predict. Alex and Mia wasted no time. When they heard that Emily had vanished, they knew they had to act quickly. With the help of Lisa and Ryan Harper, they retraced Emily's steps, searching for clues about where she might have gone. It didn't take long to discover that Emily had been sneaking out at night to visit an old observatory on the outskirts of town. The observatory had been abandoned for years, its telescopes dusty and its walls crumbling. But something about it had drawn Emily in. The group arrived at the observatory just as the sun was setting. The air was cool, and the silence felt heavy. Inside, the building was dark, but faint traces of light flickered in the distance. "Emily." Mia called out softly, her voice echoing through the empty halls. There was no answer. As they moved deeper into the observatory, They found signs that Emily had been there, her backpack lying on the floor, a half-eaten sandwich wrapped in paper, and scuff marks on the dusty tiles. In the main chamber, they discovered Emily standing in front of a swirling portal. It looked like a rip in the fabric of reality, shimmering with colors that shifted and danced. Sparky floated beside her, glowing brighter than ever before. Emily turned to face them, her expression calm but serious. "I'm sorry," she said, "but I have to go." "Go where?" Alex demanded, his voice sharp with panic. "What is that thing?" "It's a doorway," Emily explained simply. "Sparky showed me how to open it. On the other side there are answers, things we need to fix what happened." Mia stepped forward, her heart pounding. "Emily, you can't just leave. You don't know what's out there." "I do," Emily replied. "Sparky told me. It's safe, but only if we hurry." Before anyone could stop her, she reached out and touched the orb. In an instant, she stepped through the portal, disappearing from sight. For a moment, everyone froze. The portal pulsed gently, as if waiting. Alex clenched his fists. "This is insane. We can't follow her." "We don't have a choice," Maya said firmly. "If we stay here, we'll never understand what Sparky really is, or how to fix the mess we've made." Reluctantly, Alex nodded. One by one, they stepped through the portal, leaving behind the world they knew. On the other side, they found themselves in a place unlike anything they'd ever seen. The sky was a deep shade of purple, dotted with stars that seemed impossibly close. Strange plants glowed faintly in the distance, and the ground beneath their feet felt soft, almost spongy. As they looked around, Emily appeared beside them, holding Sparky. "Welcome," she said with a small smile. "This is where Sparky comes from." Before they could ask more questions, a group of alien creatures approached. They were tall and slender, their bodies covered in smooth iridescent scales. Their eyes glowed faintly, and their movements were graceful, almost hypnotic. One of them stepped forward and spoke in a melodic voice. "You have come far," it said, "but your journey is not over." Alex and Mia exchanged uneasy glances. "Who are you?" Maya asked. "We are the Keepers," the creature replied. "We guard the balance of the universe. Sparky is one of our tools, a guide for those who seek harmony. But it seems your kind has misused its power." The weight of the Keeper's words hit Alex hard. He looked down, ashamed. "We didn't mean to cause harm," he admitted. "We were afraid. We didn't understand." The Keeper studied him for a moment, then turned to Emily. "And you? Do you understand?" Emily nodded. "I think so. Sparky showed me how everything is connected. The stars, the planets, even us. If we break that connection, bad things happen." The Keeper smiled faintly. "Then perhaps there is hope for your kind yet. But you must prove yourselves worthy. Follow me." As they walked through the alien landscape, Alex and Mia marveled at the strange beauty around them. Towering crystal structures hummed softly, and rivers of liquid light flowed gently across the ground. Despite the wonder, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being tested. Every step felt heavier, as if the universe itself was watching, waiting to see if humanity could rise to the challenge or fail once again. The Keepers led Alex, Mia, and Emily through the alien world, their glowing forms casting soft light on the strange surroundings. As they walked, the air seemed to hum with energy, and the ground beneath their feet shimmered faintly, like it was alive. The group couldn't help but feel small and insignificant in this vast, otherworldly place. Every step brought new wonders. Trees that floated gently above the ground, rivers of golden liquid that sparkled like sunlight, and creatures that moved silently, almost blending into the environment. At last, they arrived at a massive structure that looked like it was made of crystal. Its surface reflected the colors of the sky, shifting and changing, as if it were breathing. Inside, the space was open and filled with light. In the center stood a large platform, and floating above it was an enormous version of Sparky. It pulsed rhythmically, its glow filling the room with warmth. The keeper turned to them. "This is the heart of our world," it said. "It is where balance begins, and where it can be restored." Emily stepped forward, her eyes wide with awe. "Is this Sparky's home?" she asked softly. "In a way," the keeper replied. "This is where all orbs like Sparky are created. They are not weapons or tools. They are gifts. Gifts meant to guide civilizations toward harmony. But your kind used Sparky's power for destruction. That imbalance has caused ripples across the universe." Alex felt a lump in his throat. He clenched his fists, guilt weighing heavily on him. "We didn't know," he said. "We thought it was just something we could control." The keeper tilted its head, studying him. "Ignorance does not erase consequences. However, you have come here seeking understanding. That is a start." Mia spoke up, her voice steady but cautious. "What do we need to do to fix this? To make things right?" The keeper gestured toward the glowing orb above the platform. "You must learn. Not just about Sparky, but about yourselves." The orb showed Emily visions of what could be, of paths your world might take. "You will see these visions too, so you may understand the weight of your choices." One by one, the group approached the platform. As each person touched it, they were enveloped in light. Images flooded their minds, visions of Earth's future. Alex saw a world torn apart by war, cities reduced to rubble, and skies darkened by smoke. He saw people turning against one another, consumed by fear and greed. It was a grim picture, and it left him shaken. Mia's vision was different. She saw a world united, where humanity worked together to heal the planet. There were green forests, clean oceans, and cities powered by sustainable energy. People laughed and shared, their faces filled with hope. But even in this brighter future, she noticed something, a fragile thread holding everything together. One wrong move, and it could all fall apart. When it was Emily's turn, she closed her eyes and smiled. Her vision was simpler, but no less powerful. She saw children playing under bright blue skies, holding hands and laughing. She saw Sparky floating among them, its light gentle and warm. It was a future built on trust and kindness. When the visions ended, the group stood in silence, overwhelmed by what they had seen. The keeper broke the quiet. "These are possibilities, not certainties. Your actions will determine which path you follow. Will you choose destruction, or will you seek harmony?" Alex took a deep breath. For the first time, he realized how much rested on their shoulders, not just for Earth, but for the entire universe. "We'll try," he said finally. "We'll do whatever it takes." The keeper nodded. "Then return to your world. Take Sparky with you, and remember what you have learned. The choice is yours." As they prepared to leave, Emily hugged Sparky tightly. "Don't worry," she whispered. "We'll get it right this time." With that, the portal reopened, and they stepped back through, carrying the weight of their newfound knowledge and the hope that humanity could still change its fate. When Alex, Mia, and Emily returned to Earth through the portal, they found the world in chaos. The aftermath of the Nevada explosion had left scars, both physical and emotional. Cities near the blast zone were still smoldering, and millions of people had been displaced. The skies were filled with strange auroras caused by residual energy from Sparky, casting eerie colors over the land. Fear and anger dominated the news, with some blaming the Valeth for tricking humanity, while others pointed fingers at their own leaders for mishandling the orb. Despite the turmoil, Alex and Mia knew they couldn't waste time. They gathered a small team of trusted scientists, engineers, and volunteers to help them spread the message of what they had learned in the alien realm. Using Sparky's guidance, they began working on ways to repair the damage caused by humanity's reckless actions. Emily played a key role, acting as a bridge between the orb and the adults who struggled to understand it. Their first step was to address the environmental devastation. Sparky's energy, when used carefully, could heal the planet, but only if people worked together. Mia explained this during meetings with global leaders, showing them videos of the visions she and Alex had seen. "We can choose a better future," she said. "But we need to act now. And we need to act as one." At first, progress was slow. Many governments were hesitant to trust Sparky after what had happened in Nevada. Some even accused Alex and Mia of conspiring with the Valeth. But as word spread about the small successes they achieved, a river cleaned of pollution here, a forest beginning to regrow there, more people started to believe. Ordinary citizens joined the effort, planting trees, cleaning up debris, and sharing stories of hope. Emily became a symbol of change. Wherever she went with Sparky, crowds gathered, drawn by her quiet confidence and the orb's gentle glow. She spoke simply but powerfully. "Sparky isn't scary," she told a group of children during one visit. "It just wants us to be kind to each other and to the earth." Her words resonated, especially with younger generations, who saw the orb not as a weapon but as a friend. As weeks turned into months, the tide began to shift. Communities around the world came together to rebuild what had been lost. Farmers shared crops with neighbors, engineers designed cleaner technologies, and artists created murals celebrating unity. Even skeptics like Alex found themselves inspired by the resilience of humanity. "I never thought I'd see something like this," he admitted to Mia one evening as they watched a group of volunteers plant saplings in a burned-out field. "Maybe we're not as hopeless as I thought." But challenges remained. Not everyone was ready to forgive or forget. Some groups continued to push for aggressive measures, fearing the Valeth might return to punish humanity. Others hoarded resources, unwilling to share in the spirit of cooperation. Alex and Mia worked tirelessly to counter these attitudes, reminding people that division would only lead to more destruction. One day, while overseeing a project to restore a polluted lake, Mia noticed Emily sitting quietly by the water, holding Sparky. She walked over and sat beside her. "What are you thinking about?" she asked gently. Emily looked up, her expression thoughtful. "I'm thinking about the Keepers," she said. "They showed us what could happen if we don't work together. But they also showed us what we can do if we try." Mia smiled. "You're right. We've come a long way. But there's still so much to do." Emily nodded. "I know, but I think we're getting closer." As the sun set over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, Maya felt a flicker of hope. Humanity had made mistakes, terrible ones, but it was learning. With Sparky's help, and with people willing to listen, maybe the future wasn't as bleak as it once seemed. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that the hardest choices were yet to come. The balance of the universe depended on whether humanity could truly change, or if it would fall back into old habits. Months passed, and the world slowly began to heal. Under the guidance of Alex, Mia, and Emily, humanity worked together to rebuild what had been broken. Forests started to grow again, rivers ran clear, and cities adopted cleaner technologies. The strange auroras in the sky faded, leaving behind clear blue days and starry nights. But even as progress continued, questions lingered. Had humanity truly changed, or was this just a temporary peace? Alex often found himself wondering the same thing. Late at night, he would sit on a hill overlooking the repaired landscape, staring at Sparky as it floated gently beside Emily. "Do you think we've done enough?" he asked Mia one evening. She shrugged, her eyes scanning the horizon. "I don't know," she admitted, "but I do know this. We've taken steps in the right direction. That's more than we were doing before." Emily, now 9 years old, seemed to carry the weight of the world on her shoulders with surprising grace. She spent her days traveling with Alex and Mia, helping communities understand how to use Sparky's energy responsibly. Though she never said it aloud, she felt a deep connection to the orb, almost as if it were a part of her. Sometimes, when no one was watching, she would whisper to it, asking if they were doing the right thing. Sparky always responded with a soft glow, as if to say, "Keep going." One day, as they visited a small village that had recently restored its farmland, A group of children surrounded Emily and Sparky. They laughed and reached out to touch the orb, their faces lighting up with wonder. For a moment, Emily forgot about the challenges ahead. She smiled, feeling a sense of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. But not everyone shared her optimism. In secret corners of the world, tensions simmered. Some leaders still believed Sparky's power should be used for control, not cooperation. Rumors spread of underground groups trying to replicate the orb's energy for their own gain. When Alex heard about these threats, he grew restless. "We're running out of time," he told Mia. "If we don't address this soon, everything we've built could fall apart." Mia nodded, her expression serious. "Then we need to show them why working together matters, not just for us, but for the universe." Their chance came during a global summit held to celebrate the planet's recovery. Representatives from every nation gathered in a large hall, where Sparky hovered above the stage like a beacon of hope. Emily stood beside it, her voice steady as she addressed the crowd. "Sparky isn't ours to control," she said. "It belongs to everyone, and to no one. It's here to help us, but only if we help each other." Her words struck a chord. Many in the audience wiped away tears, moved by her simple yet powerful message. Even skeptics found themselves nodding in agreement. For the first time in history, nations pledged to work together, not out of fear, but out of a shared desire to protect their home. As the summit ended, the Valeth's ship reappeared in the sky. This time, it didn't hover menacingly. Instead, it sent a single message. "You have begun to restore balance. The choice remains yours." Then, without another word, the ship vanished. Alex and Mia stood on the hill later that night, watching the stars. "Do you think we've earned their trust?" Alex asked quietly. Mia didn't answer right away. Finally, she said, "I think we've earned a second chance. What happens next is up to us." In the distance, Emily played with Sparky, laughing as its light danced around her. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it felt possible. Humanity had been given a gift and a responsibility. Whether it would rise to the challenge remained to be seen. But as long as people like Emily, Alex, and Mia kept believing, there was hope. And sometimes, hope was enough.